Hey yo, what is up guys? So we are back here for the playthrough of my intrusion teams for this treasure map. So because Bandai made this intrusion so hellish, I have 6 teams for you. Hopefully one of them will help you clear and get your skulls and gems. The last team wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but it still killed the boss, so I'm just gonna show it. I couldn't showcase the Namik Arena team that I showed in my preparation video because I don't have them obviously, but if anybody tried that team, let me know if it worked or not. So for the first team, we're going to rely on this free-to-play Frankie to extend our chain boost so that we don't get hit by the 1.1 chain on the last stage. So on stage 2, we're going to be using Crocodile Super Special. It's going to give us a full board of matching orbs and allow us to get through the barrier with 2 Dex orbs on Crocodile and Sabo, and then set his special counter at 1, which is going to allow us to have 3 turns of chain that are going to be reduced by 2 turns by the intimidation, and then extend that chain boost by 1 extra turn by this free-to-play Frankie, and then kill pretty easily. That way, when we go into the third stage, we're gonna have 1 turn of chain boost left. That way, it's going to prevent the boss from giving us the 1.1 chain boost that completely ruins the run because we get an attack down debuff based on the chain, and if we have less than 3 on your chain, you do basically no damage. So when we go into stage 3, we're going to use Bonclay's special. It's going to give us recovery orbs and then swap him into Dex and Cerebral, and then that way Big Mom has the recovery orbs. That way she's going to give us a conditional boost based on defense down, and then we're gonna use the special of Boa Hancock that applies defense down for our conditional and applies also minus resistance for Dex so that our Sabo hits hard. And then finally we use Sabo special to reduce the chain debuff on us, and then hit the taps and finally hit with Sabo, and it will be enough damage for at least up until 10 million. This second team has slightly better point booster, but it requires a level 12 Tesorship. We just replace the free-to-play Frankie with Mihawk and Perona, and then we rely on the ship to extend the chain boost from Crocodile on stage 2. The only mandatory support here is that Oven and Katakuri on Big Mom for the end of turn damage and a little chain boost on the last stage. On stage 1 we swap into Perona and we just hit normally. We don't need to eat the recovery orbs because we use the special of Boa Hancock on the second stage instead of the last stage. So the first thing we do once we go into stage 2 is to make sure that Mihawk and Perona are on Mihawk to have a slasher on the team, and then use the special of Bonclay to swap him into striker and shooter and Dex to have the condition for the ship to extend the chain boost, and then use the super special of Crocodile and then his special, which is going to be extended into 4 turns of chain and then reduced by 2 turns by the intimidation. And then we're going to use the special of Boa Hancock to reduce the defense, and then use the orbs to break the barrier and finish with Sabo, which is pretty comfortable, a lot of damage here. And then same as the last team, we go into the last stage with 1 turn of chain, which is going to save us from the 1.1 chain debuff. And then we're going to swap, use the special of Sabo to remove the chain down debuff, and then swap Mihawk and Corona, which is going to apply the debuff through immunity, and then use their special for the conditional boost. And then use Big Mom's special for the color affinity and the chain boost from the support and the end of turn damage. And once your Big Mom is evolved, because we have 4 Paramecia units here. It's going to give you territory as well to override the enemy territory. And we go into my team. This is the one I'm using because I'm able to use Boa Hancock on it. The ship at level 12 Tesoro is mandatory, and also the 2 supports, they're necessary. And if you don't have the Sanji, you can replace him with either Grid Bull with the Chroma support, the one that reduces defense to 0, or the PKA Sanji Frankie that we got 2 months ago with that same Nami support. So stage 1, there's nothing really special here. We just use our chaps and go into the second stage. On stage 2, we use Bonclay Special to transform him into Dex, Slasher, and Shooter. That way we satisfy the condition of the ship that requires to have every class on the team. And then we follow that by the Super Special and the Special Crocodile. So we have full board of matching orbs and 2 Dex orbs to clear the barrier, and also have 4 turns of chain that's going to be reduced to 2 by the intimidation. And then finally we're going to use the special of Sanji. It's going to give us 4 turn of orb boost that's going to take with us into the last stage, and also activate the support of Nami that reduces the defense to 0. The orb boost from Sanji only benefits Sabo, which is the most important unit in the team. He is the most boosted and he does the most damage, and he's going to be our character that taps the last. So on stage 3, we're gonna use the special of Big Mom. She gives us a color affinity, a chain boost, and end of turn damage thanks to her support. And then we're gonna use the Boa Hancock special for the conditional boost, and she applies paralysis to Big Mom. And finally use the special of Sabo for removing the chain down debuff. You can probably replace this Boa Hancock by the free to play one if you don't have this one, and basically do the same damage. And for a little bit of variety, for the 4 team, we're going to be using Izukiko for the chain boost instead of Crocodile. The level 12 Tesoro ship is mandatory, as well as the support of Smoker and Oven Katakuri. I didn't make this team, it's courtesy of a Discord user called Joe Lemonida. Same concept as the previous teams, a 3 turn chain booster and something to extend it, either the free to play Frankie or a level 12 Tesoro ship. Stage 1, as usual, we just tap, we do the swap on Mihawk and Perona. On the second stage, we start with the special of Izukiko for the 3 turn of chain boost that's going to be reduced to 1 turn. The support of Smoker is going to give us an attack boost. That way, when we use the special of Hina, she's going to give us an orb boost, and we're going to have an orb boost and attack boost, which allows us to use her super special. That's going to give us matching orbs, and then swap Mihawk and Perona, and then do our taps and finish with Boa Hancock and Izukiko, because they have barrier penetration and we don't have the orbs to get through the barrier. So make sure that the barrier penetration of Izukiko especially is maxed. That way you kill the stage easily. And then we go into the last stage. We swap Mihawk and Perona for the debuff on the boss, and then use that special for the conditional, and then use the special of Big Mom for the color affinity and the buffs from the support, and then finally the special of Boa Hancock. That way we even get a territory to override the enemy territory, which allows us to have a lot of damage. And then we do our taps and finish with Sabo. And we're back to a Crocodile and Chizoro ship team. This is exactly the same concept as the first three teams. Basically, we use Crocodile for the chain and then extend that chain with the ship for last stage. This team is inspired by Forest, the goat, you already know him. On stage 1 we make sure to swap Mihawk and Porona before clearing, and then we go into the second stage. On stage 2 we use the special of Bon Clay and swap him into Shooter and Free Spirit and Dex. That way we have the condition for the ship, and then we use the super special of Crocodile and then his special for, as usual, the orbs and the chain boost. And then obviously we swap Mihawk and Porona to have them ready for the last stage. And then finally we use the special of Green Bull with his support. That way we reduce the defense into 0, and then we go into the third stage. Sadly, we cannot use the orb boost of Green Bull on the last stage, but it's not a big deal if you're aiming only for 10 million. This should be enough for you to clear all the way to that point. We also don't deal with the territory here. So on stage 3 we swap Mihawk and Porona to apply the Holo debuff, and then use a special to give us the conditional boost, and then use Big Mom's special for the color affinity, the end of turn damage, and the small chain buff. And we finish with the Sabo special to clear the chain debuff from us, and then we chop normally and we finish with Sabo to do pretty good damage. This team should last until 10 million for sure. And we finally reached the last team of the video. If you don't have Izukiko or Crocodile or the level 12 Tesoro ship, you can use Lilith and Usopp as captains. If you start on Lilith, her captain gives you 5 turns of chain boost on stage 1. It's -1 booster, but at least you don't have to worry about the chain shenanigans on stage 2 and 3. Green Bull can be probably replaced by a couple other options, I just haven't tried them yet. If you need replacement for him, just ask down below and I'll give you the replacements. So on stage 1 we swap Mihawk and Porona and then clear. It's not really necessary because Big Mom on the last stage is not immune to their debuff, but for just a little bit extra damage you can swap them. On stage 2 we do the super swap of Lilith and Usopp to extend the chain boost 1 extra turn. Then use the special of Green Bull to give us full board of Dex Orb to break the barrier. I didn't do it here, but you can also swap Mihawk and Porona another turn for the super swap on the last stage, and use the special of Boa Hancock to reduce the defense to 0. But his defense is so low I just ignored it and tapped. If you have the new Boa Hancock, you can replace this Boa Hancock with it too, if you're looking for a team for that. And then on the last stage we use all the rest of our specials, the order doesn't really matter, and finish our chaps with Sabo as usual. So that's it for me. I hope these teams were helpful for this intrusion. Please consider subscribing, it costs you nothing and it helps me immensely, and have a nice day.